you just won yourself a T-shirt from George's Automatic Transmission.
Got another of those free heel jobs over at Paul Montgomery's shop called Cactus Boot and Shoe Repair, just north of Grant on the west side of Campbell. I'm someplace or going to a party. He's got a birthday coming up on the 16th.
He's also got a standing ovation from a bunch of folks right down in front here.
They've decided to start the celebration a little early for a guy named Rick Sipes. God only knows when Dave Maina says he's got something special up his sleeve with regard to something like this. Lord only knows what he means, but we're about to find out.
Trophy's up here. Perhaps that's our trophy.
Keep on dreaming, Jack. Keep on dreaming.
That's the trophy I always wanted. I think I'll go buy one. It's about the only way I'm going to get it.
What is that snap, crackling, popping?
I don't know.
You're live.
Okay, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, before we go down to Dave Live, let's do happy birthday for Rick Sipes in that 4U car. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rick. Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
Stand up, stand up, stand up and show us your face.
Oh my.
Happy birthday to you. You live in a zoo. You look like a monkey. You smell like one too. No, just kidding, Rick.
He's young enough to come up here and
I know it.
whip you a new one.
Yep.
He'd come up here with one hand tied behind his back and whip us both a new one. Luckily, we keep George Camp in between the action on the track and
yes,
the things we say up here. To get to us, they got to come through him, and that's next to impossible, unless your name is Sandy.
You know what I did with that money my mother gave me for singing lessons? I went
Obviously, you did something with it.
I went out and bought a stock car.
That's what I was afraid of, and wrecked it at Santa Fe.
Wrecked it at Santa Fe.
That's where he developed his reputation.
Watch it now.
2-lap back Jack.
Thank you. 2-lap back. No, it wasn't 2-lap back. It was just 2 laps.
Should have 20 machines.
NASCAR Winston late models.
Sitting on this track. Well, make that 21, including the new Indy pace car.
Aha. Okay, in the car number 73 from Eloy, we have bringing up the rear on the outside, Mike Hancock. Who is this?
61? Next up, car number 61. They call him Rapid because he usually is. Royal Automotive, Rogers Automotive finishes at Big A, and Quaker State behind that Tucson driver, Rapid Roy Gibson.
Okay, in the car number 55 from Tucson, sponsored by Marketing Concepts, Brandon Communication Systems, Brandon Brothers Texaco, car number 55, Bill Brandon.
Nine 0. Being driven tonight out of Glendale by Carl Moltner Jr.
In the car number 4, a Camaro 331, sponsored by Borderland Special, Big O, Procon Construction, Copper State Towing, George's Automatic Transmission, Performance Engines, the car number 4, Jack Kokot.
Car number 34, the Pete Hernandez car, being driven tonight by Ron Widwell.
And the Camaro 404, sponsored by George's Automatic Transmission, Cactus Boot and Shoe Repair, Dick Pennell's All Exhaust, Certified Auto Electric, and the most improved driver of 1985, the car number 71, Paul Banghar.
Car number 22, sponsored by George's Automatic Transmission, Performance Engine and Machine, the Aho Cafe car, driven by Tucsonan Dan McRedman.
And the car number 87 from Tucson, sponsored by Eastside Engines, DeYoung Motorsports, and J&V affiliated Herb Lang.
Car number 44, sponsored by Quaker State Oil, Southwest Radiator, Alpha Plumbing, C&L Thunder, owned by Chuck Gibson. Car number 44, driven tonight by Kevin Clayton.
In the car number 88 from Tucson, sponsored by Eastside Engines, DeYoung Motorsports, and J&V affiliated Dwayne Lang.
Car number 6, the Ron Lutz car, sponsored by Southwest Stucco, Sunset Ornamental Iron, D&R Engineering, and tonight driven by Marion Smiley.
In the car number 101 from Farmington, New Mexico, sponsored by Lincoln Auto of Phoenix, the car number 101, Darrly Bradford. Also sponsored by Arnold's Auto Center in Apache Junction.
From Farmington, New Mexico, sponsored by Zim's Ford Corners and Coors Light, number 111, Dan Bradford.
In the car number 4U, the Budweiser car in Golden Eagle Distributor, sponsored by Performance Engine and Machine, Certified Auto Electric Parts, or Auto Electric, Brassfield Auto Parts, Braswell Carburation, Top Line Auto Repair. The car number 4, give him a warm welcome, a happy birthday to Rick Sipes.
Inside row number 3 in car number 74, sponsored by Blue Circle West, Performance Engine and Machine, Danny's Racing of Amarillo, Texas, the Vicki Lynn Memorial Machine of Tucson, and Carl Trimmer.
On the outside of the second row, a Camaro, a Phoenix driver, sponsored by Anco Mobile Brake, DeYoung Motorsports, Aztec Videos, the winner of our first main event race here at Raven Raceway ever, the car number 29, Dan Smith.
Inside row 2, car number 17, sponsored by Coors and the A. Pierce Company, Arizona Spring, also McLaughlin Body and Paint and Pennzoil, Tucsonan Ivan Russel.
On the outside pole from Tucson, sponsored by Sanavir Rock and Material, George's Automatic Transmission, the car number 23, Jack Moore.
On the pole, such as Mario Andretti sets tonight here at Raven Raceway, car number 52, sponsored by Brassfield Auto Parts, Braswell Carburation, Copper State Towing, Simonson Generator, ABC Radiator, and too many more. The list is too long. Jim Throckmorton Jr.
And that wraps it up for the lineup for the main event here at Raven Raceway this beautiful May 16th, 1987. And gentlemen are starting their engines. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you notice, the car number 23T is on the outside and the pole position is vacant. That is in memory of Larry Brandon.
Okay, folks, I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty fast warm-up for these guys, and they're going to be in shape in the early on. So I think what we ought to do is commence with our practice for our Raven Wave tonight, even at this slower pace here in the beginning. It'll be like slow motion. But when that lead car, not the pace car, but when the lead car, either Throckmorton or Moore's machine, gets directly in front of you, whether you be on Stomper Hill or located within the grandstands here tonight, as those lead cars, race cars, go by, when they get directly in front of where you are sitting, come to your feet. It'll be a slow motion Raven Wave the first time or two around the track. But then I have a feeling these guys are going to be punching them real quick tonight, and we're going to have to punch it real quick from up here too. So let's begin our Raven Wave down there at the left end of the stands now, even in slow motion. Right about now, you should be coming to your feet, getting up, doing a lot of yelling and screaming, getting these guys fired up. And there you have in slow motion.
Beautiful.
What it's going to be like.
Give yourself a big hand.
As we come close to the green tonight, and you folks do that, there's going to be a rush through this crowd. And there's going to be a rush on that track diving into the lead, or so they think, in turn one. So that was a real good-looking one in slow motion. Now the pace is picked up, so it'll go a little bit quicker this time around. And then when we actually go green, boy, are you guys going to be whipping them into shape. Here we go with one more practice lap. When they get in front of you, bring it up and bring it loud. Up, up, up.
Ho-ho!
Okay, we got a little sloppy on that one. So let's bounce back on this third one and make it really click. When that lead car gets directly in front of you, stand up and cheer them on, because we will be off and running, hopefully with 30 uncontested, beautiful, clean laps of pure fender-to-fender, bumper-to-bumper racing. And here we go. On your feet when they get to you. Let's do it. Wave.
Beautiful. Ivan Russel jumping out in front.
And Carl Trimmer right behind him. Tucson going 1-2 right off the bat here in your main event for the NASCAR Winston late models. Russel, Trimmer, Dan Smith, and Jack Moore in that order. But now Jack Moore has inched in front of Dan Smith, who doesn't seem to be running quite as hot and strong tonight as what he has in weeks past. But we'll see. It's still early in this one. There goes Russell, followed by Trimmer, then Dan Smith, Jack Moore, and Rick Sipes, your top five in your 30-lap main event. And Sipes has got all he can handle and wins out the battle in turn two over Jack Moore. Russell and Trimmer running 1-2, and there they go. Phoenician, Dan Smith in car 29, Ricky Sipes, and Jack Moore rounded out the top five. And then the rest of your parade. So far, they're doing it in clean racing spirit. Your Larry Brandon Memorial on the 16th of May. What an electricity-filled night it is at Raven Raceway. Your top 5 on the right set of your screen, and Trimmer appears to be closing the gap on Ivan Russel going into turn 3.
He sure does, Tom.
And coming out of 4. Here they go. Trimmer trying to close on Russell. Dan Smith trying to catch those two. And then Sipes and Moore running 4th and 5th as we go yellow. An entanglement low in turn 3 has got a pair of them. Unfortunately, including the Throckmorton machine, car number 52, temporarily sidelined. Jim's out, using some hand language that I won't repeat. And I also don't have a clean enough shot on that second car involved down there to give you any information on him, but as soon as we do, we'll pass that along to you. Those two sending us to yellow.
Well, one of those cars involved in that mishap is B52, Jim Throckmorton, Jr. Well, Carl Trimmer, hot on the tail of Ivan Russell, has won 2 Larry Brandon Memorials. And let's see what he's going to do as he challenges Ivan for his 3rd victory. Also want to note that Certified Auto Electric sponsors the Budweiser 4U car also, and sponsors a bunch of cars out here. Car number 34, 44, 52, 55, 71, 75, and 87. My goodness. The sponsor of all of these vehicles, Certified Auto Electric. We've got a red Ford pickup with Montana license plate 27TK176. It needs to be moved out in the parking lot.
Doesn't look good when the fish hooks from Gary's Towing get involved, but that's exactly what they've done with Throckmorton's machine. The rear end of it is up and off the track. And number 61. The second car involved in that fracas down there, Rapid Roy Gibson. See some front end and front left fender damage on the Throckmorton car. On display now, up front and center.
Looks like Roy Gibson got his car running again. Let's see if he stays out there.
So the Throckmorton bunch will have some body work awaiting them this evening. Ivan Russell proving his competence in the early on. 4 laps are now down out of our 30-lap NASCAR Winston late model main event for you tonight. Starter George Camp is already signaling to the men to give it one more slower paced tour before we think about cranking it up. Ivan Russell in the lead, Carl Trimmer right behind him in 74, Dan Smith, Rick Sipes, Jack Moore. The rest of the field, Bill Brandon there in 55. Throckmorton's back in action. Managed to blow that problem out fairly quickly, but now somebody up here has sensed a flat tire problem with car number 34. So let's keep a close eye and ear on that, see what develops for Ron Widwell in the Pete Hernandez car, racer number 34.
Uh-oh, look there, number 4 corner. We're not even on the green yet, and we've got a
Oops.
front end half torn off in the car number 71.
Yeah, and what's he do but decide to drive right over it?
Yep, that's Paul Banghar in 71.
These guys come racing. They want nothing better to do than to go racing.
Yep.
And that includes the Banghart boys, to say the very least.
34 still out there.
Uh-oh.
So George Camp has to dismount the starter stand and get this one worked on a little bit more.
Got the black flag in hand also.
Up close and personal, and I suppose one of them he's looking for is Widwell.
34.
And I get the feeling Ron knows he's being looked for because he's trying to hide.
Is he hiding over in the corner there?
He's hiding behind Billy Brandon.
You're not going to hide from Uncle
He's no
George.
dummy, but George has got him all sorted out and says,
Yep.
hey, fella, you're in the right lane to go to pit lane. So get in there and get it fixed. We'll wait on you. Oh, I tell you.
George, you're sure getting a workout out there tonight.
George should have talked to Santa Claus, maybe had him put a chimney in that starting stand. He could just slip up and down.
An escalator would help.
He's got elevator shoes.
Yep.
Growing corn out there behind the bud sign.
What is going on up here?
Same as always, it's a haven.
Yeah, somebody's showing us their legs.
Haven of pure lunacy. I thought Dream Street or Bourbon Circus had come visiting.
What was that you just said? They're talking about shaving Tom's legs up here, and it's getting bad.
Oh, my. There may be more fireworks yet.
We need to get that red Ford pickup moved, that Montana plate, the license number 27TK176. We need to get that car moved, or that pickup truck moved right away.
There goes the temporarily disabled Banghart machine, rolled back into action as we continue under the yellow. But maybe with just a little bit of luck, not for much longer. 4 laps down. If my math is right, that means we got about 26 to burn here in your Larry Brandon Memorial NASCAR Winston late model and Charger extravaganza on a Saturday night, number 16 in May. And it continues on tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 2 o'clock. Gates open, hot laps, and racing, including the off-road guys. I have a feeling these guys have impressed George Camp. I look for us to go back to, and we are racing again.
Oh, look out, Jack Moore. Holy moly.
A lot of slipping and sliding in the early on. And Big George no more than gets the green flag out of his hand, then he's got to be going to the yellow. Jack Moore involved in that fray.
And we're on the yellow flag once again.
Jack Cocott, another one involved in that. And with any luck at all, maybe not enough in disarray to interrupt anything except for a one lap here. Widwell has returned to the field. Car number 34 under the Winston sign right now. He will situate at the tail end of the pack. And George is going to give him one more lap to get it all digested and into shape. If they hang on to what they've got right there, we could be firing it up in the next lap. Widwell is dropping in properly to the back of the pack there with that number 34. And let's see if they can continue to impress Mr. Camp. George has got his eye on him. He's bringing him around now. He's got the green in his hand. What do you folks think? You want to do some racing here? Let's go for it. Under the green again, Ivan Russel leaps. Carl Trimmer tries to close it up. Likewise, Dan Smith and Trimmer's got him on the back chute. Leads Ivan Russel into turn 3. Slows it up, then speeds it up, and he's going to power it out of turn 4 down the home stretch. Carl Trimmer leading Ivan Russel. 1, 2, Dan Smith currently running 3rd. Rick Sipes is in 4th place right now. And right now it is a 4-car race, but it is still very early on. 5 down and 25 to go. Carl Trimmer in the lead. Ivan Russel tries to close the gap between turns 1 and 2. Dan Smith doing the same thing from position 3 and staving off Ricky Sipes, your happy birthday boy, in that 4U Budweiser car in 4th place. There go your leaders, and here come the rest of the pack with about a 5-car race right now, Jack, for 5th place.
They're bunching up over there on the back chute.
We got 3 main groups. It looks like 3 squadrons out here right now.
Yes, we do.
4 of them in your front squadron. Then 5 battling it out for 5th place. And then we've got about 8 cars who are totally undecided at this juncture. And your main event grinds on a Larry Brandon Memorial evening at Raven Raceway. Your leaders flashing by the home stands. Banghar, even with the banged-up Banghar machine, is pushing high now and running 5th. In car number 71, Paul Banghar, missing a lot of that sheet metal up front, but running in 5th place behind these guys right here, your top quadruple. Ronnie Widwell and car 34 are back in the field. Here comes Trimmer, Russell, Smith, Sipes, Banghar, in that order, 1 through 5. Picking them off in a 30-lap memorial extravaganza that's turned out thanks to Ma Nature and the scientific mechanics behind these drivers who make it all possible to be one whale of a Saturday night of racing. Trimmer and Russell and Smith into 3, followed by Sipes, and here they come out of 4 and down the home stretch. No significant change in the order. In fact, if anything, they're spacing out a little bit up there between those front-running 4, and they're coming back into traffic. Carl Trimmer with nowhere to go. He has to stay low, and he's got himself in a big squadron of cars there. Ivan Russell trying to take advantage of that predicament, but he can't because he's in the same boat himself.
Same situation.
Now Trimmer starts to do something about it on the outside over there in turn 3. Has to drop back to the inside and settle for what he can get there.
Georgia's got the halfway out right now, and we're 50% or halfway through this main event.
Nice recovery there for Paul Banghar. taking a little bump from the outside as they head into turn 1.
Trimmer still in traffic out there, trying to get by the rest of these guys.
Trying to blast by the Throckmorton machine right now, car number 52. Ho-ho! Little banging and grinding going on down there in turn 1, but your leaders survive it. In fact, Trimmer is flashing through it, showing moments of brilliance here. If he ever gets out of that pack, he could be hell to catch. He seems to have it really dialed in properly tonight.
We've got him at 20 and 53/100ths right now, but he's in traffic. He can do a lot better than that.
22nd laps. Oh my goodness, are they going at it? Fender to fender right now. Throckmorton on the inside. Trimmer desperately wanting to get by.
And Russell right behind him, Tom, creeping up on him.
Trimmer not wanting to get boxed in back there with Throckmorton on the outside, and he's got traffic in front of him, but he may be ready to blow one of these guys away if he can dispense with number 29, and that's not going to be easily done.
Here's Russell making his move, but just can't quite get up there.
Let's see how they come out of 4 and down the home stretch following the T-Bird, which is out of sequence there. Carl Trimmer working away at it, trying to hang on to that lead and pad to it. This may... goodness! It got soupy, and he lost it momentarily long enough
He might have
for
touched.
Ivan Russel to charge into the lead.
He might have touched 90 just a little bit, just enough for Ivan Russell to slip on in there.
At any rate, that ought to light a fire under Carl's seat. Now he's going to be giving chase to Ivan Russell.
And that he does.
Tries to take him on the outside into 3. That doesn't work. Thinking low, coming out of 4. It could be a little mushy down there. He's going high and wide in turn 1, then tucks it back into the draft. Let's see what happens down the back chute. Carl Trimmer,
Ivan
74.
Ivan keeping it on the inside, and Trimmer going just a little bit wide on that last turn.
And we're getting into the latter stages now of this main event. Ivan Russell
90 getting in the way. Uh-oh, Trimmer slips inside of Russell as Russell goes wide in number 2.
Carl gets him between 1 and 2 one more time. And they seem to be right on the verge of breaking out of traffic. And as that happens, yellow also happens once again.
Old Yeller.
And it's right down here up close and personal in front of you folks in the home stand. 88, Dwayne Lang. With what he hopes is a temporary problem, we'll find out just as soon as Gary's towing gets in there and gets a chance to give him a bump.
Okay, now because of that yellow flag going out, Russell is back into the lead because there was not one complete lap made by Trimmer when that yellow flag came out. So Ivan Russell is still your leader.
Still a lot of machines left in this one, too. How many laps are gone? 23 laps.
Look at that. They almost, my
Of the 30.
goodness, they almost ran over that official out there in the number 4 corner.
Of the 30 laps, 23 are now in the book. We've got 7 to go as Carl Trimmer dives to the pit field. He might be having some kind of handling problem. The last circuit around this track, he certainly seemed to have some weaving problems left and right. See how quickly he can get that 10-2 in the pit field. Starter George Camp signals to the guys, give it one more twirl, boys. Give me one more go-round.
Well, Trimmer blew his left rear tire, and that's why he pulled into the pits, Tom.
I'd like to have the tire concession here.
That's for sure.
Russel back on the crest.
Dan Smith right behind him. And Rick Sipes in that 4U car coming up third. As George Camp tells them one more time around, they're going to give Carl a chance to get back out here and get back into this race.
Paul Banghar still tooling around, minus some of the sheet metal that he had earlier. In fact, he voluntarily just drove over it. So anxious to continue on with racing. That good-looking New Mexican T-Bird still in the field, car number 111. Starter George Camp says, give me one more circle, guys. Give me one more turn. One more under the yellow. Let's surprise him. Race fans, you guys ready? Let's give him another Raven wave on this time around, especially if George Camp has got the green flag in his hand, and he does.
And there's Russell back out on the racetrack.
Ivan Russel is back. So when the lead car gets to you, come to your feet. Let's produce the Raven wave, the best that's ever been done. Starting right now. Up, 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 up. Which is what Ivan Russel is, and look at Carl Trimmer put the surge on in 74. But Ivan Russell's the man of the hour. Dan Smith right behind him. Birthday boy Rick Sipes is running third. Bill Brandon in fourth place with that number 55 machine. Jack Moore, a little squirrely coming out of 4, but he gets it straightened out.
Ivan Russell running at 19 and 53/100 on that last lap.
Here he comes. Dan Smith, Rick Sipes, Bill Brandon, and the rest of your field, including Carl Trimmer, trying to make up for lost ground. Lost with a blown left rear here in your Larry Brandon Memorial tonight. Ivan and Dan and Rick and Bill. 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting into the late stages of this one. And now Dan Smith puts on a surge going into turn 3. But he can't hang on to it, and Ivan Russel brings it out of 4. And down the home stretch, your leader still.
Lap 27.
Dan Smith in second place. Rick Sipes running third. Billy Brandon in fourth place. And then it opens up. Trimmer working away at it over there, coming out of 3 and dragging it out of 4. Here's Carl now, trying to cut to the inside of machine number 44, Kevin Clayton. But here come your leaders. Ivan Russel takes the white flag, followed by Dan Smith, Rick Sipes, Billy Brandon. That's how they're running. 1, 2, 3, 4, out of turn 2, down the back chute. Still chasing Ivan Russel into 3. That's how they're going to come out of 4, and the checkered flag belongs to Ivan Russel. Dan Smith goes second. Rick Sipes third. Bill Brandon fourth. And then the rest of your field. And look at that big, big trophy making its way down the grandstands now. A pair of trophies. Linda Manus and her friend doing their best impersonation of a trophy dash right now, live and in person for you here this evening. Our main runway of the grandstand.
That last lap, that white flag lap by Ivan Russel, was run at 19 and 46/100. 19 and 46/100 seconds.
And let's give him a round.
Saturday night. Dave?
Okay, here we go. We're going to the presentation of the main event. Ivan Russel, this is his first win. This is making a fourth different winner, I believe, in the NASCAR series here. We're glad to present this trophy to Ivan. It's a special trophy that I'm sure he'll cherish as well as any driver would have won it. Presented by Budweiser, Coca-Cola, and Raven Raceway, and Larry Brandon Memorial. The trophy girl, Melinda, will present the wreath to Ivan. Great Ivan over the pit of John Harris. Flowers by Burns Flower Shop. Thank you again to the Burns Flower Shop. If you need flowers, please check with Burns Flower Shop.
My head?
Oh,
come on, all right.
when are you going to learn how to fly?
Okay. The winner of the main event, Ivan Russel in the Coors Silver Bullet. Nice job tonight. Thank you all the good show. Thank you all. The semi-main event winner must not be coming, so if you guys want to go down the pit area, the big eats are open. Mingle around there. It's open for a little while. Enjoy yourself down the pit area. Watch out for the motors and those pipes in our life. Thank you for coming once again. We'll see you either tomorrow or next week then.
Thank you, Dave. And congratulations, Ivan Russel. Another super show here at Raven Raceway this evening. What a damn team it's been.
Fire left you. My boy said this a little while ago. We're opening up at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Get in farther, a little bit farther.
Fire and the rear wall will also open up.
Closer.
Well, rear wall will open up too. This is Sunday.
You want to put a seat on him, Susie?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Take our awards too. Over special film trophy. We do appreciate them and let them know that they're doing a fine job out here.
Howdy, everybody.
RC Award. Guys, all the trophies out here at Raven Raceway. Doing a great job this year. What a beautiful trophy.
As always, Dave made us a super job down there in Victory Lane. Of course, the guy
Be my baby, Lord, be mine.